Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In the last part, we headed off to take on the final tier of the Omega high-end raid sets. Alpha and his little Omega companion set across the world on an adventure. Well, we gotta go to bigger and better heights. We got the 24-man alliance raid we gotta work on for this patch, for this expansion. So, let's see what this is about. Dramatis Personae. Welcome, my lady. There is a young maiden here who would speak with you. Who's this? Blue-haired Makati. Miss, the adventure has arrived. What's going on? Who's this lady? And here she is, liberator both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I am Lena Murayla, correspondent of. Wow. Am I lagging? What's going on with my phone? My Twitch is like lagging like super bad. Correspondent for the Raven. You may recognize me from one of my expose on the secret lives of the homunculi. Sorry, it doesn't seem familiar. But enough small talk. What is going on? It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you pass. Really, she's dedicated. I'm sorry. No, I'm here because actually it's best you heard from Alma. Who's that? Alma, come! I found her! Final Fantasy Tactics people will recognize her name. War of the Lions, to be precise. Is this the adventure of whom you spoke? Indeed it is. Please, I beg you, find my father. You are his only hope. Excuse me. What's going on? It's alright, Alma. I need some details. We're attracted to unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We all wait you aboard before the Prima Vista. The theater barge has a berth at the airship landing. The Prima Vista from Final Fantasy IX. Though not quite the exact same Prima Vista. Alright, we gotta go. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. I thought about doing Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions because I'm not that big on the tactics games of Final Fantasy. But War of the Lions I really loved. So I've always thought about doing a playthrough in that at some point. As I said before, I think we continue this conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here, it's simply that I don't trust anyone here. Well, Gate Guard Mine Gumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain that admission to the docks. Alright. Thank you for coming, Cecila. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a Garland one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. Should I be going? This doesn't seem right. If it's a Garlean, we're just gonna go? No questions asked? Alright. Oh, look at that. Look at this thing. Alright, what's going on here? I want some explanation. Oh, if you played War of the Lions, you'll recognize this little theme. The Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theater Company. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one is here as a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop. At least not known spies. That's reassuring, I guess. Ask anyone, they'll readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theater Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere on the 3 great continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It's a well-known fact outside Garlemald, at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts, who supported various theater troops to the tune of much coin. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Indeed, Solus was so enamored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship, that the troop might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, everything changed. Now, all theater troops, domestic and foreign, must submit their works for approval by the Central and Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the troop denied their rights of transit. The worst offenders? Well, they're never heard from again. This policy has effectively led playwrights with one or two options. Compromise our creative integrity to curry favor with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The Prince of the Majestic, however, chose a third option, to express his disapproval for the new Emperor's policies obliquely and in ostensibly unpolitical works. Pray forgive me for my earlier outburst. I am Alma Bas Lexentale, the daughter of the Principal Genimus Sen Lexentale. God damn, what a name. I may have you heard about my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave story. On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worthy of the censor's attention, but beneath it is something quite different. The fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success. The common folk loved its fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began withdrawing their support, fearing to be associated with the troop, and by the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. By bleeding the majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here. Right. I agree. Thanks for the backstory, I guess. Allow me, Lena. Oh, Sid! He's back! Are you done with your paperwork on Omega yet? It's like we just saw you. Unknown Genimus, since we were students at the Magic Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane, looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give you your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. Genimus and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights that he would prattle on into the wee small hours. Warm flagons of peated ale, numbing our minds to others' naive ideologies. Yet, no matter where our conversations began, it would invariably end up with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The troop was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his home, Genimus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will never strain against such artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the skies so others might do the same. What I'm trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all guardians are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledged lives in the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for the country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling that sack of sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman who has watched his family consume the flames of a Magitech Reaper. How many Eorzean adventurers do you think would leap at the opportunity to help an Imperial search for her missing father? And in Garlean territory, no less. But you are different. You have seen enough to know the line between good and evil. Evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So, what say you? I would make a poor adventure if I were to shy away from an adventure. Indeed. Now that you understand the nature of the task, perhaps Alma could provide some insight as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began his work on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Please follow me. Alright, where are we going? Oh. Or an elevator. We're going up to the bridge, probably? It's fancy. Oh, we're on the bridge. Through adventure and hardship, young Delita, a young boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of the mythical kingdom of Ivalice. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genimus simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delita would never have risen to the throne. He was the next tale he wanted to tell. The true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants. That is, until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet, the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the pauper's rise to regent. You must forgive me, but I've never heard of anyone who would make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Genimus becoming lost in the very legend that he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Ivalice had Genimus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story that was just a fairy tale. And so, when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge. Was it not, Alma? That is correct, Master Garland. It has been long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Ivalice lie beyond Noxia, buried deep beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Familiar name! Poor Dalmasca. The kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations, until the Empire came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into the Dalmasca Desert to search for proof of Ivalice's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals. Crystals unlike any others. Ooh. My father called it the Orosite and claimed they were vital to proving his theory. This is one such crystal. By the 12, it's magnificent. Ivalicean legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during this quest to gather Orosite that young Delita rises to prominence. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that is all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell me how this Orosite spoke to him. At the time, we assumed he was speaking figuratively, that the stone's beauty roused his muse. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Ingashi, my father spent most of his time cloistered in his chambers, poring over his past research, and though he was alone, we could often hear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who had passed several winters gone. Might this not have been out of mere loneliness? Or perhaps the strain of your flight from Garlemald? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Ooh, ghosts! Oh, who's this? Alma, who are these people? I told you I did not require any help finding my father, especially from outsiders. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce... Enough, Master Sid. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we're still Garleans, and we still have our pride, unlike some. It seems we require neither the aid nor the pity of a foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be fools to conduct a search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I'll personally vouch for her character. In all the time I've known her, she has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color her judgment. You're lucky to have her. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genimus to his fate. I'm sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. After what happened to Rabanastre, it may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the city capital. He barely escaped his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. You were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time, I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Dalmasca's capital? My father's fascination with Evilise and legend began with a trip to the antediluvian city long before the war. Call it a premonition, but something tells me that is where he has returned. Now you must excuse me, I need some time to think. Ooh. So Rabanastre's in ruins, huh? Then, Alma, I shall leave you and your brother in Cecil's capable hands. She has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant her yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. Cool, I've been volunteered. Great. I never even said I was gonna... Well, I guess I did I? So, Rabanastre's in ruins. Dalmasca is in shambles. Great. Master Garland seems to think highly of you, so I will withhold judgment until after Dalmasca. That's a familiar sight. Dalmasca is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's outermost territories. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the location of each of the barge's exits, just in case. As for the flood itself, the currents above Dalmasca are as wild as the land below. I mean, you may want to hold on. As you can probably imagine what this raid tier is. This raid tier is is in Dalmasca. Yeah. Great. Well, I think aside from the final one. So yeah, Final Fantasy XII influenced. you all know my stance on Final Fantasy XII. If not, I am very critical about Final Fantasy XII. It's one of the least interesting Final Fantasies I've ever played. Even going through Zodiac Age, it just didn't do it for me. I gave the game a benefit of the doubt though, so and sadly my opinion has never changed. Well, it's a mix of both Final Fantasy XII and Tactics. And we'll complete our descent to Rabanastre in the shuttle. God, we're there already? God, that was fast. Ramza! I thought I made myself clear, Alma. My capital is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, we're wasting time. Poor Alma. I feel for her. Shit, why'd I do that? We are in Dalmasca. Look at that. The royal city of Rabanastre. Or what's left of it, anyway. Place has seen better days. According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city from some 1,000 years ago. But after performing several private excavations beneath the so-called Desert Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then, your father believes that Rabanastre sits atop of the royal city of Lazalia, capital of Ivalice. But if that's true, it could change history. We would be famous. Famous? You sure you don't mean rich? You kinda all alike. Parasites grown fat on the sweat of suffering of others. Bold words for a boy but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Uh-oh. Being watched. Yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it's time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. Who's this? Oh. I recognize those frames. You see, it's as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill him now? No, the time is not right. When has that stopped us before? Oh. Fool! Did you not see that one? Slayer of gods, they call her. Warrior of light. Oh boy. City of Rabanastre is unlocked. Hopefully this queue is not gonna be too long. But since it's FanFest stuff I might go by quick, maybe? Oh, maybe someone's doing it up in here by all chance. Probably not. No. Aha, that was a fast queue. I'm satisfied. Come on, DPS and healer. Really? Come on, healer. Where's my healer at? There we go. No, oh, it's the red chocobos. All right. Before outside is the royal city. My father's somewhere with it inside. I can feel it. Though these are no ordinary birds. I know what they are. They're not fun. They're pretty mean, actually. Something foul prevents our crossing. Where its numbing breath. You do not fear me? You will. Matthias, the corrupt. We're taking on an Esper. Rise, dark water, and grant me strength. Gods of ice, be my blade. Uh-oh. Wow. This is what happens. Living shield, protect me from evil. Freeze, dark waters, steal my body. let the ichor flow. Let it burn. Oh, you're dead. Fools, you have not seen the limit of my reach. Still is not mistaken in his assessment of your skill in battle. Oh, okay. The text went by too fast. and the chat's going by too fast. Sake bandits. It appears that deplorable creatures are here to parade in abandoned homes. Oh, someone DC'd. Spare us, kind sirs! I'm not afraid of your black chocobos. Oh, it's the red chocobo. Hell's alive. You seen red? I'm out. I'm out of here. See ya. Ah, I was that far away and I still got hit by it. Another of the twisted others. This is not the work of the Empire. Something is wrong here. It's Hashmal. Without order, creation is doomed to descend into chaos. I will bring that order. You will, Neil. No, I won't. Do you know who I am? Barking up the wrong tree, sir. Ah. 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 To maintain order, one must first have control. Squished! They all got squished. Oh fuck. Oh. Wow, that flesh wound hurts. Wow. Oh fuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, how do you resist? Resistance will be met with retribution. The land shall bury and bury your screams. I'm not afraid of your retribution. See? To defy order, to defy creation itself. This guy's got an excuse for everything. Ugh. No! Come, the cleansing flame will seal all wounds. I'm good. You can keep a cleansing flame to yourself. Your order is a lie. Again, you have proven your word to this expedition. Let's see what lies beneath the city. You know, even after going through Final Fantasy XII, I still don't recognize any of this. More bandits. Despite all the creatures we've encountered, I know not whether they're brave or foolish. You'd think you would recognize some landmarks of Rabanastre, but no. Ow! I just hit my elbow against my desk. Because we can't vote kick this guy off, because you can't vote kick people when you have loot going around. Whee! Deep underground. The Rabanastre Waterway. Welcome to the Rabanastre Waterway. These tunnels are said to have existed since before even the Kingdom of Dalmasca was born. As the city grows, the channels are widened and outlets dug. I would venture that some of the pools are so deep that no one alive has ever seen their bottom. Whee! I'm gonna go diving. You know, one of these days I should check out these scratch letterings. Still got another freaking, I don't know, 140 seconds before this loot rolls. Unless somebody starts, you know, passing on shit. This guy's not gonna leave our party. Alright, we're going with the currents. Got sucked in. These ruins are no longer Rabanastre, my friends. This is Lazalia. The Lazalia of Elysian legends. Look at this place. The creatures here are not a mere beast or void sin. The secrets that lie beyond must be the ones worth keeping. Hark! What army marches on Raphocale's Demisne? Ill fortune befall all who dare gaze upon me. Oh fuck. It's called a reading text. That's what I'm rambling on about. Oh, I'm out of range. Oh, good. They finally loaded the loot. I walk the shadows, you'll not see until my lance has transfixed your very soul. Oh, fuck. I'm just gonna stand here because I'm not gonna make it out there and say, waiting time! Or I get hit by 1 and hit by 5. Oh boy. Oh, I almost got ran over. Heavens tremble in my wake. I bet they do. Ride in the land's embrace. Oh, shit. Whoop. Yeah, we would have a LB3 if we could just kick this guy that's offline. Oh, come on, he's almost dead. Bullshit. That... no. Got distracted by my ring. Shit. Any doubts I had about your... oh, it's gone. Oh, Crystal Tower. Oh, who's this? Take the picture off. Ooh. Aura sight! Uh-oh. Like sheep before the wolf. No. That text.
陳自らの剣にて葬るのみよ。
Yeah, people naturally, as raids go, people don't wait. Oh. Oh, good. I'm just gonna...
証拠まこと無才のしきらめ、さらなる絶望も死を与えようぞ。虚無の力をここに。 偽りの神の力を見せてやろう。真の壁のケージにしてやろう。
Then I have to look away. No, do the opposite of. No, okay. So I actually. It's one of those phases. There's two different phases that show up. One you have to do the opposite of. Oh, good. Misdirection. Oh, fuck. So, your soul is down. It must be that face that they do the opposite of. And this one's hell when you have misdirection on. Zodiac Thriller. More trophies for me. We'll kill all a sight. Of course, naturally the guy's offline, so that's probably not even worth waiting, because since the guy's offline, it's still considering him actual part of this, so you know what? I'm not even gonna bother waiting. Not even gonna bother. I was gonna win that card, but I'm not gonna wait for the whole loot time limit to go through. The loot's not gonna roll out because that guy DC'd, and you can't kick anybody out because the loot's rolling out. Where am I? Father! Ramza, and the Warrior of Light? Yes, I know of you, but that you should come to my rescue. Words fail me. A poor playwright I must seem. Uh-oh. I recognize that guy. It's the Bongas. Bagammon! The term you're looking for is thank you. Upon which note, I, Bagammon, a bounty hunter, do humbly thank you, Warrior of Light, for delivering me this fine gift. Now, hand over the aura set unless you wish to see the desert sands turn red. And be quick. Gaiju here does not have the steadiest of hands. That one! She will bring it to me. You can have the aura set. I don't even want it anyway. Yes, this is it. The Duma. And to think we found it so close to the Doma. The Duma of Doma. Yeah, you're funny. Yeah, I'd kill him for that joke too. Enough, Bawagi. We would not have our guests think us underbred. You have what you want, you thieving lizards. Now unhand him. Of course, Abanga is always true to his word. I'll be keeping this though. What's he taking? A book. You can have it. Father! You've only yourselves to blame for this. But if you misselect the thought, you could always blame the gods. Not that they're listening. Ooh, he's taunting us, like... Get up, fool! We're leaving. No, he's not dead. How's he alive? He got shot! You're gonna be alright. We cannot see your father's hurts here. Come on, we must get back to Prima Vista. Genimus remains deep in slumber, but his breathing is steady and his fever has subsided. For now, all we can do is wait. I've sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Oh, I guess not. Alma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? What the hell were you in the middle of the ruins for anyway? And you, Cid. It was never my intention to pull you into such trouble. I am ever in your debt. You would have done the same for me, Genimus. Besides, it was Cecily here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves your thanks, it's her. He's right. I've done not to deserve your kindness, yet I am its beneficiary nonetheless. Alright. So, if I understand correctly, you're saying Orisa does not work to facilitate the possession of a living host by an icon, as was assumed to be the case with Isael and the Archbishop, but rather absorbs the host's ether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to the host's body. If that is the case, our Charlian allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you came looking for? The legend which would have us believe that Delita Hyrule, the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of the Zodiac Brave story. But as I have discovered, there is another. Two others, in fact. Siblings whose roles faded with us from subsequent retellings of the story. A brother and sister by the names of Ramza and Alma. Then, to prepare for this assignment, I pored over every published work on Evil Eastern legend I could lay hands on, and nowhere did I find any mention of these siblings. Makes sense after what happened at the end of the War of the Lions. But I did. I uncovered an irrefutable evidence that Delita had a close companion named Ramsey who aided him in his rise to power. This in turn led me to Alma. That I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my own children after these lost players. I'm sorry I never told you any of this, Cid, but you must believe me. Evil East has never been a mere pastime of mine. It is and it forever will be my calling, my purpose. My family's purpose. Go on. The world knows me as Genimus Sen Lexentale, yet that is but my stage name. My true name is Arazalam Durai. Countless generations past, it was my ancestor who penned the Durai papers, an account of Evil East and the War of the Lions that details what truly occurred during that turbulent era. You're tired, Father. Rest. I'll continue. Long ago, an orphan named Oren Durai crossed paths with both Ramza and Delita. After Delita's rise to power, Oren found himself in the service of the pauper become king. Following the War of the Lions, Oren believed the people of Evil East had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learned of his intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burned at the stake. The Durai papers were never published, and any existing copies were gathered and sealed away in church vaults. The truth about Evil East along with them. What was so damning that it could drive the church to do such a thing? The fact that you had coffee in here is something. It is interesting. The answer to that question can be found in this book, the only surviving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, copied from an early draft and passed down from our untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore honor to my family's name. A forbidden chronicle? Secret family legacy? Not that I doubt you, Genimus, but how do you expect to convince people of all this when well nigh every soul in the realm believes Evil East to be nothing but a bedtime story? By proving that it is anything but. And when people see that Evil East was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the chronicle and submitting it for review, we would of course have done so long ago, but alas, it's not. The Durai papers, you see, are written in High Evil Eastern, an ancient tongue long extinct. My father, his father, and his father before him labored tirelessly to decipher this tome, but for want of other sources made only fitful progress. A word here, a phrase there. It wasn't until a recent expedition to Rabanastre turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the papers. The dictionary stolen by the Bonga bounty hunters. I'm afraid so. Everything we had learned of the language was contained in those papers. Then we're back to where we started. Not necessarily. We saw the transcript as well as some few translated passages, and of course my father's impeccable memory. I have come too far to allow so simple a setback to deter me from my purpose. I will show the world the truth if it's the last thing I do. It says Master Garland said. He's a man obsessed, and I fear Evilis's grip on him will only grow tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Rabanastre with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you'll keep him safe. Please. Why not? Won't be the first time. What's going on over here? Oh, no, another ore site? Ooh, it's glowing. Alright, back in Kugane. After what I've seen here, I'm all but convinced that Evilis exists, at least in some form. The problem will be gathering sufficient evidence to convince the thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the presumption that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been one to shy from a challenge, especially when it means the story of a century. If you're in, Cecil, then I'm in. If you're not in, well, I'm still in. By the way, you'll be hearing from me again soon. That much I promise you. Oh, all right. Throw those on. I think I already have that card. Yeah, I do. I definitely don't have that one though. Okay. And that is the end of the first raid sets. So, when we come back, we will dive into the second raid set of the expansion. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you then. Later.